Good morning, and welcome to Stanford University. The Center for Educational Research at Stanford is our building here, and mediaX at Stanford University is your host for the day. As I begin, I want to say a very big thank you to the members of mediaX. mediaX is a member-supported organization. And without their support, we couldn't have meetings like this. Because of their support and their interest in learning sciences and in education, we can have meetings like today. So thank you very much to mediaX members. You'll hear from several of them today. A list of them is on our website. I want to also thank Jason Wilmot, Director of Communications and Events. Outside you met, I'm sure, Elizabeth Wilsey, and who's Director of Community Relations, and Addie Dawes, Program Manager. I also want to thank the distinguished visiting scholars of mediaX who are, as an advisory board to us, experienced and very well-established members of the academic and business communities who give us ideas and open doors for us in our programming activities. You'll hear from several of them today as well. Thanks also to our colleagues at the Human Sciences and Technology Advanced Research Institute, our parent organization, and to the Graduate School of Education, our administrative unit, and especially to the over 24 affiliated laboratories at Stanford in which researchers are studying problems, questions, opportunities that include both people and information technologies. So this year, mediaX is going inside the system and behind the user experience on people and information technologies. Our theme for this year is the individual and the algorithm. The connections and the absence of connections, as we are able to define them. Some of the ways that we will approach this topic include making better decisions and how augmented systems are helping humans with that, supporting the whole person with data-intensive systems. We'll look at personalization and privacy. And beginning today, we're looking at the human experience of learning. Is there a chasm or connection between the individual experience and the algorithms? Why focus on learning, you might say? Well, I think that learning is critically important to the human experience. The acquisition and use of information is important for every field. Given the speed of change, I think most all of us today feel that we have a mandate to continually be learning. In fact, I would just see a show of hands. How many people feel that in a week period, you spend about 10% of your time, at least 10% of your time, learning something new? And I hope today will contribute to that. But one of the greatest advantages is to be able to learn faster than your competitors. And as our human experience is built around sharing information with each other and with groups, learning is just ground zero to being human. I will say also that learning is a specific interest of half a dozen of our mediaX members. And so it's appropriate that we are focusing on learning this year to start our investigation, our inquiry into the individual and the algorithm. So where do we see algorithms in learning environments? And by algorithms, I mean patterns that are guiding actions. We see it in HR training and evaluation. We see it in credentialing and certification. We see it in testing of all kinds. Yesterday, we spent some time talking about the algorithm in educational policies of accountability for seat time in classrooms, recommender systems, online tools and tutorials, standardized testing, computerized instruction. There are algorithms, formal or informal, that are patterns that guide action in so much of learning. And usually, often, these algorithms have analytics with them. So if you're involved in research around the uses of technology or using learning measurements, finding better ways and evidence to improve learning, or more deeply understanding human learning itself, if you're involved in designing and delivering instruction of any type to new employees or to students, how we measure the outcomes and how we provide feedback to employees or colleagues or students or teachers or developers or administrators or policymakers, if you're engaged in teaching in any way or at any level, or training people for this new, increasingly technology-enhanced learning world, you're interested in efficiently and effectively improving learning performance. And so it's very appropriate that today we are talking about algorithms, processes, or sets of rules to be followed in calculations or other problem-solving operations. Analytics, the information that results from the systematic analysis of data or statistics. Learners, someone who is acquiring information or experience about a particular subject in order to do something. And learning as a process that results in a change of knowledge or behavior. Now, I titled this introduction, The Human Code for Learning. It was really audacious. But I will say that this code, as we unpack it, does include many elements, systems, algorithms, data, calculations, analytics, practices, analyses, and analytical contexts. Analytical contexts. It also includes users, goals, user contexts, behavior, perception, attitudes, and communication. And increasingly, as we want to study it and make changes in it to transform it, it involves open-endedness, persistence, life cycle updating as a part of the data approach, multi-agent computation and learning, and understanding the human in the loop. Today's topic builds significantly on research that has been inspired by mediaX members and funded by mediaX that covers a range of topics from human-machine interaction and sensing, digital learning environments, the future of content, publish on demand, measuring and improving knowledge productivity, performance and potential and productivity, and our most recent research theme, which is ontologies for human learning. Builds on the learning sciences and certainly includes a perspective that learning analytics is much more, it's much more than analyzing learning data. It really is about deeply, very deeply understanding what learning activities work well, for whom, and when. And it is definitely an interdisciplinary field and recognizes that each learner brings something different into the learning. So that's the context for this human code for learning that I would like to establish. Very good references for the initiation of this field into its current day have as one of their authors or editors Roy P., who's with us today. He's mediaX faculty director. And communities of practice, beyond communities of practice, distributed cognitions, technology and learning, video research in the learning sciences. These are all contributions to the field that Roy P. has made. I would like to just say a few words about Roy because I think you should know the tremendous inspiration that we have in addressing the interdisciplinary fields that also include the learning sciences. He's the David Jacks Professor of Learning Sciences and Education in the Stanford Graduate School of Education and Director of the PhD program in Learning Sciences, Technology, and Design, co-founder and director of the Human Sciences Technology Advanced Research Institute. That's the parent organization for mediaX. He has extensively published works in the learning sciences and on learning technology design. And he's made significant contributions since 1981 to the understanding of how people learn with technology. There's so much to say, but his scholarship focuses on creating equitable opportunities for the advanced learning of complex subjects. So it's understanding the mind and how technology enhances the ability for learning. And he's inspired and built training programs, educational programs at several universities, including Stanford, research partnerships, and professional development. There are many organizations that have recognized Roy, and he is a fellow of the National Academy of Education, the Association for Psychological Science, the Center for the Advanced Study of the Behavioral Sciences, the American Educational Research Association. He's an inaugural fellow and past president of the International Society for Learning Sciences and a recently inducted member of the National Academy of Arts and Sciences. So I would invite you to join me in giving hats off or hands together for Roy P. Roy's working on a new book, and maybe he will say a few things about that.
My happy charge is welcoming you to this day and to contributing all of the uniqueness of your point of view and experience with and contributions to learning sciences and engineering. And I know many of you come from around the world, diverse subjects, diverse learning participants, diverse domains. So I'm looking forward to learning with you today. The book that Martha alluded to is a forthcoming Routledge Handbook of the Cultural Foundations of Learning that I am co-editing with Carol Lee from Northwestern, Naila Nasir of Berkeley and the Spencer Foundation, and Maxine McKinney de Royston at the University of Wisconsin. It has 24 chapters and 68 authors. I think you'll find it will transform how you think about culture and its contributions to learning. It has been an overly neglected topic, unfortunately. And while we talk about learning as importantly social, kids are wired from birth to learn socially. The question is, the social interactions typically are within particular cultures or intersecting cultures. And this book will appear at the American Education Research Association meetings in 2020 in San Francisco. So,
great.
Be happy to have you tell us what you think about that once you have a chance to read it.
That's great.
So, thanks, and now on with your day.
Thank you. Thank you, Roy.